Welcome back to Building Blocks for Apartment Investing. And guess what? The Philadelphia Eagles are #1 seed in the NFC. As a team, they put themselves in great position to be able to make it to the Super Bowl. Like in football, when it comes to apartment syndications, you have to have a good team to put yourself in position to be successful. In this episode, Trevor will speak about the people that you want on your team, the top markets to invest in now, and if you're new to multifamily investing, he has a few recommendations to help you learn how to get started. Don't forget to like and subscribe so we can continue to bring you professionals with awesome information to help you with your investing career. Enjoy the show.
So, especially with your active deals, that you were discussing, it sounds like you have a team that you work with. And let's talk about partnerships briefly, especially with regarding active investing.
Yeah, so you want to make sure that and again, that's stuff you want to look at. Like normally you'll connect with one of the main sponsors, but you'll want to see who else is on the team. Okay, so things that are really important is who's going to be the asset manager, because the asset manager on the sponsorship team is the person who is responsible for implementing the business plan, right? So on my deal, I'm the asset manager. It's an hour and 10 minutes from my house. This is my full time. This is my first bigger deal that I'm doing. So I'm going to dedicate a lot of time to it. At the beginning, I'm going to be on the property every week. You also want to make sure on your team that you have somebody who's really good at underwriting. I already mentioned it was a weakness of mine. So we've got another person on our team who is excellent. In fact, he used to be a loan processor. So he understands all of the underwriting and all of the things that he's a wizard at that. Also on the team, we have one guy who's not a lawyer, but he's the most experienced of our syndication group. And he spent a lot of time vetting the legal side of it. And then another person was responsible. They're the main sort of money raisers. They're the one that could raise a little more money than the rest of us. And that was the reason they were brought onto our deal, because you need people that can raise money. And since we've not done a deal of this size yet, we needed to bring partners in that could raise money. So again, it's a team, right? This whole team is taking it. And just like anywhere in the world, anywhere, teams can become dysfunctional. So even my deal in Tucson, I invested, the partners that actually I did the deal with, they split. But they were both very professional and made sure that the asset didn't suffer. So they were one company and the other one went and joined another one, and it worried me when it first happened. But you could tell that they were professionals. They knew what they were doing, and they managed to, I don't think it was like a big divorce or anything, but they managed to be, make sure that they did the best for the property. But it doesn't always happen. That's why you want to look at the team as a whole, right? You may have one person that but you want to make sure, like for our deal, we had a memorandum of understanding. And the things that I mentioned earlier that were important to me, that was the first paragraph of the memorandum of understanding. I only want to do business with people that agree this. One of our partners, she found the deal. She's actually the property management company. And I said, I won't do a deal with you unless I can fire you. And she said, I won't do a deal with you if you wouldn't fire me if I was bad. So we were aligned, right? We've actually become great friends, and gotten a lot closer because she wants to do a good job as a property manager. She said, we need to protect the investors. So for some reason I can't. We need to get someone who's better suited.
Can you tell us a little bit more about Niagara Investments?
Yeah, so it's really just me. It's just a name. So Niagara Investments is me. That's what I have my sort of, everybody has to have like kind of a public face. And so when I was trying to think of a name for my company, I was actually trying to do Bluebonnet, but that was taken because that's the Texas state flower. And then I thought, I'm from Niagara Falls. Let me try Niagara Investments. And that's how it ended up. And I have a virtual assistant, and eventually my company will grow, and we'll have some people work, but right now it is just me. And then I partner with other people.
Okay. So how do people get in contact with you if they have any questions?
Yeah, so I put my contact in the thing. So there's my LinkedIn, my calendar to book appointment, my email, and my website. I stuck it in the chat. And all you gotta do is say you met me here, and I'm happy to meet with anybody. I like talking, as I'm sure you can see, and I like sharing information and teaching people. It's when I first started, I'm not gonna lie. In fact, I just posted a video on LinkedIn. I was terrified. I was terrified, and now I'm like, why didn't I do this earlier? We haven't talked about it, right? But this is, investing in real hard assets that produce cash flow, that appreciate in value at the best tax advantages of any investment ever. I mean, it's the trifecta of why wouldn't you invest in it, right? I don't know how many of you, before I got out, COVID happened, and I woke up one morning and I lost a third of my net worth just because the stock market panicked from the COVID shutdown.
Wow.
And yeah, that's scary.
Yes, that can be very
And
scary.
there's no tax advantages there, right? Other than it comes as capital gains versus ordinary income.
We will move on into our question and answers portion of tonight's meeting. Cedric, what questions have you received?
Yeah, someone sent in a question. I'll try to rephrase it a little bit, but with everything that's going on in the economy, what are the top markets to get into right now?
Yeah, so you want to go where everybody's moving to. So luckily I live in a state where everybody's moving to, which is Texas. They're also moving to Arizona, and they're also moving to the Carolinas and Florida. So you want to go to places where people are moving, where businesses are moving. Most famous transplant here is Elon Musk, right? I actually invested in a 10-acre piece of land that we're going to build an apartment complex right behind his factory. So you want to go where things are moving, where people are growing, population is growing, and jobs are growing. The most beautiful thing, even though we're on a recession, is jobs are still growing. And that's like the weirdest thing, right? We're in an inflationary period, but there's still a lot of demand for jobs and a demand for more housing, right? You don't want to go to a market where all the apartments are less than 90% full.
Okay. We have another one here. I'll rephrase this one as well. Do you have any book recommendations for someone who's just getting started in multifamily investing?
Absolutely. So I'll put it in the chat here. It's a book by James Kamasami. I'm actually part of his mentoring program called Passive Investing. And I will put it in the chat. You can get it for only $4.95 shipping. It is an awesome book. And also, if you look up my YouTube, so it's Trevor Thompson, I recommend a whole bunch of books. There's other real estate books there that I recommend on my YouTube channel.
Okay, I see that I received something here. All right, they're asking what websites or apps are best for learning more about multifamily deals and performing due diligence.
There's a ton of different, again, if they send me an email, I can send them like I recommended my YouTube channel. I recommend 20 other people's YouTube channel. They post a lot of educational material. And you can learn so much from YouTube. I mean, you can fix your toilet to invest in an apartment, right? I highly recommend it. In the morning with my coffee, I've always got, I've been doing this 5 years. I still listen to a YouTube video while I'm catching up on my emails on a topic that I'm interested in. There's just so much, it's an overwhelming the amount of content that's out there. And then keep coming to meetups like this. I've got a meetup this Thursday. We're talking about using self-directed IRA funds or 401k funds to invest in real estate. Again, we just reached out to a company who agreed to make the presentation for us, just to provide education for passive investors. You want to find the people that are wanting, just like William and Cedric here, wanting to give you information to learn.
Awesome. Okay, I have another one here. As a passive investor, how much communication should you expect to receive from the general partners or active sponsors in the deal?
Yeah, so normally it's quarterly. It's kind of like the minimum standards quarterly. Some do monthly updates, but most do quarterly updates. And then what I want to call major event updates. So if something major happens. So for example, I'm invested in the deal here in Austin, Texas, caught on fire. So they sent us out a notice about what had happened. Then they finally had an insurance adjuster and they sent out, because that was a big event, they sent out a couple of updates. The best I've ever had, they did it for the first quarter only. They provided weekly updates, then they went to monthly, then they went to quarterly. On our deal, we plan to provide monthly, just because I like a little bit more communication than quarterly. Especially when you're starting out, right? You're like, you want to learn.
Oh yeah, 100%. I have here one, Ying sent one in, and they would like to know, what are your criteria to identify growing and flourishing areas and markets?
Yeah, so you can look at population growth and job growth and those kinds of things. You can, city data is a good source. There's a couple of websites that you can look at that information and find it. I'm lucky that I live in the middle of it. A lot of people don't live in the middle of it, right? You know, if you live in Detroit, Michigan, I'm sorry, it's a tough place. And I mentioned big places. It doesn't mean there's not places in Ohio that are growing, or Tennessee. So for example, I didn't mention Tennessee. Nashville and Memphis are hot markets, especially Nashville. You know, a lot of people are moving there, and there's a lot of businesses going there, and there's a lot of money there.
Our vet would like to know, who are your favorite content creators in YouTube or elsewhere?
Yeah, so again, I mentioned his book, James Kamasami, but he also produces a lot on YouTube. Break of Day Capital was Gary Lipsky, who I invested with, Tucson, Arizona. And again, if someone wants to send me an email, I've got a whole list that I'm happy to share. You know, but there's so many of them. Neil Bawa, he's called the Mad Scientist. He truly is mad, by the way. It's just the way that man's mind works is mind-boggling. And the amount of information he can put in an hour presentation is mind-boggling, right? So just Neil Bawa, B-A-W-A, go to his YouTube channel, and you could spend a year there. And he talks a lot about emerging markets. He predicts markets that are going to grow, and then he corrects himself the next year if he missed it, and he tells why he missed it. He's basically a data scientist that is turned into a real estate syndicator.
Yes, and I will second that. And he uses data for his investing criteria. Like he makes all of his investments using data analysis. I mean, please, like Trevor said, go take a look at him. And I'll mention one more, Charles Dobbins. Dobbins, D-O-B-E-N-S. He's an attorney by trade, but also great investor, great information, and you can spend a lot of time listening to him. I have as well.
Yeah, I definitely. In fact, I'm going to be on his podcast coming up. We recorded it a while ago, but he records right out. And and he actually, I'll be honest, 2 days after my deal in San Antonio fell through, he did what not to do when you're doing a loan assumption. And I watched it and I almost wept, like, because everything he said, it was like, oh man.
Ying asked another one that would like to know, do you, Trevor, have both active and passive investments that you manage, and is that feasible?
So again, passive investments, you're normally not managing. I had one that I was part of a mentorship program. We were in big trouble. I volunteered because I had a lot of bandwidth at the time, and I helped out for a while. But as a passive, you're normally not allowed. You're just not active. You're not doing anything. So there's a big difference, right? Active means you're a deal sponsor and you're responsible for the deal. Passive means you're only providing the working capital to a deal sponsor. So the deal sponsor finds the deal, arranges the financing, and signs on the debt, combines that debt with investor money, hopefully some of their own money too. That was something I didn't mention earlier. Always make sure they got skin in the game. You want to make sure that they're putting more money in than they're getting out on acquisition fees and other fees. And then, so there's pretty big divide between the two. I just happen to be one of these, like, I kind of wiggle my way in and get to know people and, you know, try to be helpful because I was just so fascinated to learn.
Okay, Cedric, do you have any other questions from the members?
There's one last question that came in, and it says, is there anything you would do differently now versus when you got started investing?
So the only thing I would do different, and I say it over and over again, was start early. Don't wait to buy real estate and wait. I didn't start till I was 50 something years old. If I had started when I was 20 something years old, my world would be totally different. So that if there's anything, don't wait to buy real estate and wait. It's huge. And then one other thing, just while I'm dropping somebody else's good tidbits, Warren Buffett, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Okay, so passive investing lets you make money while you sleep. Your money makes money, not your efforts making money. Huge. And those two things escaped me. I just worked like a maniac on my job, and I did well. I'm not going to complain. I did very well. I had very rewarding jobs with lots of excitement. But if I had added passive investing earlier, huge, right? So just think of this: put $100,000 in, and it doubles in 5 years. So that's 200,000. Doubles in 5 years, it's 400. Doubles in 5 years, it's 800. Doubles in 5 years, it's 1.6 million. Doubles in 5 years, it's 3.2 million. In 25 years, so if I'd have started when I was 25 instead of 50, I'd have $3.2 million from one $100,000 investment. And because it's all passive income with a lot of the tax breaks, almost all tax-free.
You definitely want to be here next month because we are having goal setting. Next month will be December, and you want to make sure that you're here for that because you want to get your best foot forward moving into 2023. We will go through a goal setting scenario to just push you forward right into 2023. And in January, we have Mr. Corey DeHarsh coming in, and he will tell you and show you how to invest in multifamily using your self-directed IRA and as well as your 401k and other retirement vehicles. In addition to that, we also have Miss Bianca Myrie, who is a private money specialist, and she will be here to show you how to use this financing vehicle for your real estate investing.
I would like to take this time to thank Trevor for coming out tonight and sharing this valuable information with us, and I wish him much success in his future endeavors. And as Cedric said, you don't want to miss next month's meeting because this will be a lot of valuable information to help you in your investing career. I want to applaud you for coming tonight because it shows that you understand that with the right building blocks, you can build the perfect foundation for your apartment investing career. Be safe and be awesome. Thank you for watching this episode on financial freedom through multifamily passive investing. I wish Trevor much success in his future endeavors. In our next episode, we have the multi-talented Miss Kalia Luff from Sankofa Properties, LLC. This professional knows how to set goals and achieve them, and she's coming to show you how to do it too. If you would like to support this channel, one of the best ways to do that is to like, comment, and subscribe. All those things signals to YouTube that you see value in these videos. So make sure you click that alert button, and I'll see you in the next episode.